Hi, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode on the garage rebuild. In this episode, I'll show you the foundation work for the new garage. This was one of the few parts of the rebuild that I did not do myself and instead had someone else come in and do it right. I really knew nothing about concrete before this, and so I just didn't want to screw this up. Concrete is not cheap, and mistakes mean a lot of work to get it fixed. As I mentioned in the last episode, as the contractor was working on this, he operated solely off of the plans that I provided and had no further information from the framer. He asked me about the framer, and I told him that's me, and so he did it the way it made most sense to him based on his experience and the plans provided. I can say right away that that is not advisable. Ensure you have understood the plans already at this stage and know the proper dimensions. That is hard, especially if you haven't done this before. Two things I will point out right away. First, the width of the door openings. The width of the opening must take into account the actual door that it is to fit plus the trim and the little extra for wiggle room. So for example, the garage door here is measured at exactly 8 feet. So that means the opening must be bigger than that. It would be 8 feet plus at least half an inch of trim on each side plus some extra. So 96 inches plus 1 inch plus a half inch. And that's likely the absolute minimum. You can always use shims and framing to make the opening smaller. But once the concrete is in place, it gets really hard to make the opening bigger. Second are the hold down and other anchors. In the plans, these anchors are not necessarily marked in the exact spot. It's up to the framer, you, to determine the exact position. Two things to keep in mind. First, normal anchors must be placed at least 6 inches from the edge of a mud sill or base plate. Take that also into account if you have to break up the wall into multiple boards of base plate that are butted up against each other. So do the math on the walls. Second, the hold downs need a little bit of offset from the posts that they get mounted against. That should be between half an inch and an inch from the edge of the post. However, in several cases, you might also have additional 2x4 or 2x6 studs that butt directly against these posts where the hold down goes. Then you need to take those extra 1.5 inches into account as well. So if you use a 4x4 post and a 2x4 stud, the offset from the center of the post must be at least 3.5 inches divided by 2 plus 1.5 inches plus a half inch, which amounts to about 3.75 inches. But let's get into the actual foundation work now. The initial work was just to excavate the new stem walls all around. As you can see on the code page, that means at least 27 inches of trenches around the periphery. The width of the footings is 16 inches. On day 2, all the walls were dug out and lines marking the exact outlines had been set up. This was also the moment where we discovered that the original foundation of the previous garage was not squared. So on day 3, you now see the exterior lighting electric conduit exposed as they had to enlarge and properly align the stem wall digs. Also here in the back, they had to cut the water lines as they were now inside the new concrete walls. Day 4 shows a huge step forward as all the forms for the stem walls and openings have been built, and they had started laying out the rebar as well as some of the anchors already. This, by the way, is the ground rod for the sub panel will go in this corner. Day 5, finally first concrete poured. I didn't have my camera set up on the morning, so only a few pictures until late in the day. They are smoothing out the surfaces of the walls as they are taking off the forms. You can clearly see that they poured in 2 steps. Day 6. All the prep work from the foundation slab and the non-bearing wall support is ready. You can see the dip where the footing for the non-bearing support goes. And also how the garage door rebar ties into the slab. Day 7, second day of pouring. The team is getting ready. After everything is poured, the slab gets a final makeover to smooth out all the surfaces. That's me wondering how I'm gonna have to reroute the exterior electrical conduit as they came out directly in front of the door. Not sure why I completely missed that all week. And this is how it looks once it's all done. Final look at the finished foundation. It's a beauty. After everything is said and done, what did this set me back? Well, I had to get a porta potty for the contractor. That was $350 for a month with pickup, cleaning, and everything. The contractor came to $14,000, which was the best price I got from evaluating multiple contractors. The most expensive quote I had was over $30,000 just in comparison. And so, with the total so far of a little more than $14,000, we're now looking at a new total of $28,465. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave a comment below. Next time, we're going to get started with framing. I hope to see you then. Until then, please visit our Instagram page for more frequent updates. Please also like and subscribe. See you all soon.